G'day traders, John from Crypto Candlestick Trading. Just doing an update on Bitcoin and the crypto markets. We'll have a look at the US markets a little bit later as well. What we can see here is, I'm just looking at this in the weekly chart just so we can kind of get a better look of the longer term, just a bit of a bird's eye view really. So we can see a massive big push here, and then we've come across a little bit, made a new high. But the thing that I'm liking about this is this nice big cup with handle. Actually, just a sec, I'm just going to get rid of all these drawings and we'll start again. So this nice big cup and handle that I'm looking at here, up there, and then we come back down to there. So looking at that, this is set for a we've had on the daily chart we had an entry there on the daily chart, which is kind of looking a little bit, I wouldn't say weak, but I mean it's not strong at this stage here. But then again, we do have some let's just have a look at what's happening here in the handle. So when we go up here, we've got below the 9, it's traded below the 9, then come back up and close above the 9. And here we've got a hammer, which is reversal, it's buying action. Then we've had a little bit of a sale here, and then we've had an engulfing closing above. So there's three things that happen here below the 9 EMA that on the weekly chart that are saying that there's still strength in this market up at these highs. So the entry that I'm actually looking for is, well, there's two kind of entries that I'm looking for. I'll just show you another one. So we've already had an entry, and I bought a Bitcoin the other day because of that entry, and I think it was because of this one here or this one here. I think it was, so anyway, somewhere around here that I bought the entry. So if you go back and check in my history of these videos and posts and whatever, you'll see exactly the day if you wanted to find it. But looking at a downtrending line, something similar to this. So we can see here we've had, like a touch and then a touch. We've broken through, and then we've got support here, and then we've kind of wedging into sideways consolidation here. But we can see, the volume from here, it's kind of like, pretty high volume, and then we seem to be, especially when we get over here towards the handle sort of area, this volume just declines massively, which is really, really good. This is kind of what we're after. This is what we want to see. So we've had a massive big push up here, and then we've created the handle here on the weekly chart, and then going down here, wedging down, which is exactly what we want to see. And we also have a decline in volume, which means that there's less and less sellers that are happening, or wanting to get rid of their shares at this stage, which is exactly what big money want to see. They're going to keep on testing this until they see there's no one else selling. And once they find out that no one else is selling, then we're going to be breaking through these highs. Once we break through these highs here, that's another entry right there. So I'll be looking for an entry if I wasn't going to be getting in earlier again, which I don't think I will. I'm pretty overcommitted where I'm at right now. I'm happy with my my holdings at this stage here, but an entry up through here, I'll be buying again. So, and that'll be all-time highs as well. So just shrinking it up, we'll just have another look at the Bitcoin on the weekly chart, and we'll move on to some of the others on the weekly. So yeah, that's pretty much what we're looking at, and that looks beautiful. Like this is and have a look at the volume, as I was saying. Like even here with the declining volume like that, we've got massive big red on the declining volume. And have a look here. As we're rising up, and especially over here, there's just no volume at all, which basically means that no one's selling at this stage here. People are just holding onto their coins, and there's no turnover. All right, let's just move on down some of these other cryptos, and we'll just have a look and see what the general story is on the weekly chart. Now, Chain, I do like Chain quite a bit. I've got a pretty good holding in there, and I do like it more so for the daily chart than what I do the weekly chart. But there was another entry that I was looking at as an engulfing, closing above all the moving averages and the downtrending line. This one here came and undercut that, but I was still safe somehow. Tron, I got stopped out of Tron. Let's go to the weekly chart. Two I got stopped out of was Tron and ADA. I got stopped out of. So, and here we had like a double bottom bounce, and then we broke above that, and then we collapsed and came below it. So that to me it was not good enough for me to keep on holding. So I got out of that one there. I'll just get rid of these drawings so that we can kind of see it a bit better. Let's shrink it up as well. So on the weekly chart as well. So we can kind of see the same thing here. So there's wide and loose trading. It's wide and loose. Then we've got an engulfing there. We've got a hammer here, which is buying. So the sellers came in. It was a really big red day at one stage, week at one stage. And then it came back into buying again, closed above the 50, and then we've come up here and we've got supportive action on the 50, and then we're up to here. So this can also be seen as like a very big cup with a handle sort of a shape here. So we're looking at a potential buy above the 14 cent mark. Moving on. And so this here, have a look at this flat base that's formed up here. Like a break of this flat base here. This is looking really good actually. You know, as much as I wasn't really liking Binance very much at all at one stage, but I mean, this here, we cannot deny this. You know, we've come up here, we've got a flat base. This is like a reaccumulation phase, and then we've got a nice solid flag looking thing happening up here. Break above all these highs here, and that will be a definite entry on that one there. This one here, V chain. So yep, you know, here we've got a base that's formed, broken above it, found support. So we've got a pop. Now we'll come back down to test that support action to see if we do get support there. So far it's looking okay. And this one here, yep, so this one here is pretty good. So we've got a nice base there, broken above the base, and come back down and found support on that base. Same kind of thing, which is very supportive action. You know, it's good. Here we've got another base here. It's kind of come down back in the base, but in any case, it is showing positive stuff because we've got a low, high, high, low, high, high, and now I've come back down and found supportive action on the 50. ADA, the one that I got stopped out of. So here, looking at the weekly chart, it's really done nothing wrong, but it's just on the weekly, you know, so on the daily chart that I sorry, that was the weekly chart. This is the daily chart. So I must have got into this position here, and then anyway, as you can see, got stopped out. But anyway, it is what it is. And you know, not all of them are going to work really. We should be looking at around about 30% of our trades won't work. So here we got a low, high, high, low, high, high, and then it's come back down and breached these lower lows, but found support on the 50. So you know, and here if we do have a base that's formed here, we do have supportive action on the 50 and on the top of the base. So you know, ADA isn't looking too bad really. It's, you know, just I got stopped out of a trade, but you know, it's still not looking too bad. We've got supportive action there. Stochastics are oversold, and we've got no one selling. You know, we can see pops in volume here on the selling, but here at this stage here, you know, we're broken above, you know, and got supportive action there at this stage. No one's selling. Anything else? Same again. Lows, highs, high lows, high highs, and we come back down. We didn't actually quite breach these previous. It's like a double bottom low, but anyway, I've got supportive action on the 50 at this stage here. We haven't had a close below the 50. It'd be interesting to see what happens if we do get that. And here, XTZ. And so lows, highs, high lows, supportive action on the 50. This one here, I don't know if this one was a misprint or not. I mean, that's, you know, from $2 down to, you know, 1 cent. I can't really see it. But anyway, we'll, yeah, lows, highs, high lows, high highs, and then this here. You know, if anyone had the stop losses, you know, below here, if this is real and not just a misprint, well, you know, anyone who had stops below here was taken out. But that looks more like a misprint to me. I've got a low, high, high, low, high, high. This one here came back down and took these stops out. So this is the nature of the big money that's in the market. So they would have known, and you know, even been able to see on the ticker tape that there's so many stop losses below this low here. So anyway, it's gone up there nicely. So they've just come back down and picked up all these cheap dot shares, or you know, coins. And now they're here, you know, finding supportive action. They're still going to probably test this low a couple more times just to make sure that no one else has put stop losses there, so they can, you know, get rid of all the stop losses, because the people that have got stop losses here are probably going to sell when it just gets, you know, like a little bit higher, you know. So big money don't want people selling on the way up, because that's going to slow down their, you know, forward, you know, trajectory. So we've got a low, high, high, low, high, high, break this here, big money accumulates more, and we're ready for the next takeoff. Shiba. So Shiba's had a very nice push, and it's pulled back. So let's have a look at this on the daily. It looked pretty good on the daily chart, actually. So massive big push up there, and then we've come back down. We've got an engulfing closing above. You know, still, if you were to buy back there with your stops below that engulfing there, you probably would still be safe. But still, like, I don't really like this. You know, it's taken a long time before it's gotten started, and it hasn't even really gotten started yet. So see about link. We'll just do a few more of these, and then we'll move on. So here we've got a nice base that's formed. We're broken above that base, come back down and found supportive action on the base with a hammer, and we've, you know, gone up there making, you know, good progress. That's there. Oh, that's on the daily chart here. So we'll move back to the weekly chart. And here the same again, lows, highs, high lows, high highs, back down, supportive action on the 50. Here, this is a test to see, you know, what sort of, so here, if people were putting, you know, putting buy orders in here, they've been stopped out by this stage here because it's come back down, and, you know, and also if people had shorts, they also got stopped out there. So this is like a big cleanup from the big operators that just kind of come in there, take all, you know, cancel everyone's orders, and then we're ready to take off again. So CRO, let's have a look at that. So here the same again, low, high, high, low, high, high, and we come back down, found supportive action on there. So this is actually pretty good, even though it's red, it's still pretty good. Algo, same again. So we can kind of see what the the general scenario is here. We're making high highs, high lows, and we'll just have to wait and see what happens from there. Look at this action here. I'll just get my drawing. No, it's not there. So this to me looks like a massive big cup with a handle for me. So if that's the case, and this is like that, I'm looking at buying the break of these highs here. I already have a position in Solana. So, but my next entry there, so 166 will be about 112. Let's see what the actual high is. So the high is 110.03. So it'll probably be about 110.50 or something like that, that I'll be looking at entering on this here. It doesn't really matter too much about this high here. This is the high here that we're looking at. And if you look there in the handle, we can see that there's no one selling around here. And we've also got supportive action here. Every time it sells off, someone's buying, selling, buying, selling, buying. And then, we're getting engulfing above all the moving averages again over here. So, yep, anyway. We'll just have to wait and see what happens. I got a sizable position in ETH the other day, and so yep, just wait to see what happens there. I also heard that ETH had the ETF approval only 2 days ago, so that was pretty good. Anyway, we'll just have to wait and see what happens with that ETF approval. Bitcoin is still yet to prove itself with its ETF approval as well. So I can see a base that's happened here, that's formed here. So let's just draw that in. It kind of goes pretty low, but we can kind of see supportive action there, a bit of resistance, and resistance here, and turns into support, and there we are. So, that's a base there. This is looks like a markup that's happening here, and we've got a nice big strong push there. We'll just have to wait and see what happens there. One other thing that I want to look at from here is I want to go to the US market, and we'll just have a look at what's happened over the US market. And so this here on this is the weekly chart. So here, this is the same again that we can see on the with the S&P 500. We can see a massive big cup with a handle there. So this gave me the entry for, as soon as we break that high there, that was the buy. And now we've done the same again. So over here, but I'm going to get rid of all these drawings so you can see what's going on over here a little bit clearer. And so here, what I'm looking at is, let me do that differently. I'm going to remove all 24 drawings and we'll start right all over. So if I'm looking at this here, we've got a high, and then we've come back down, found supportive action, broken above that high, and now we've got a hammer, doji, and then a hammer. So this is still supportive action that's happening on the SPY. Let's have a look in the daily chart. Yep, oh look at this, this is beautiful. So we've got, nice big volume here, and we've got a rocket booster engulfing, closing above all the moving averages now on the daily chart. This is looking very positive. So this here was a change of character, and after we get a change of character, this is what happens. So we've got a nice big uptrend there, change of character, and then this is what happens. And then we're broken above the 50 again, and then we're finding supportive action again here, which is really good. So the SPY, being the an index of the US markets, like we definitely need to be looking at this. And now that we've got like some sort of a breakout with the SPY, we can be going over to the SPY and buying the best of the best stocks that are in that in the best sectors, with the best earnings, the best sales, and the best products to sell. So we can be looking for these in the SPY. And another thing we can do is look for the ones, the same sort of thing in the NASDAQ. So with the NASDAQ, so a little while ago we had a nice big cup and handle there. We broke out above here, so that was the buy zone. And then we've come back down, and we had this massive big sell-off here. This is probably just big money cleaning up. And then we've come across here, we've broken a new high. So let's go to the daily chart and have a look at what that new high looks like. So here, coming across here, breaking that new high, and we've got, we've come back below the 21 EMA, and then massive amount of buying that happened there to finish the day off. And so this here, even though this is a red, it's a red day, there was a lot of buying that finished up on that day there. So this actually turns out to be pretty positive, because we almost bounced on the 50 and we closed above the 21 moving average. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens with the 9. Now a few of these ones, I'll just go through a couple of these ones, because I did well on some but got in trouble on one or two of the other ones. So coin, I'm looking for, so here we've had a cup and handle there, and it's gone up and now found supportive action on there. Engulfing, closing above all the moving averages, but now we've closed below the moving averages on this one here. So still haven't been stopped out on this one here, but very close. Nvidia, so Nvidia did well, well so far anyway. The buying back there, missed this entry here on the new highs. Let's have a look at that. This is why you can't, you can't fall asleep on the straight, because you need to be watching the favorites every single day. And I'm not talking about like sitting there for hours looking at it. You don't need to check it for about 30 seconds or whatever, just to see exactly what the candle is going to look like when it finishes. So we've got a low, high, higher low, equal, and then we're broken through here. So this here was the entry. So as you can see, like I got an engulfing off the 50 there with my stops below the low there. I thought that the very next day I was going to get stopped out, but anyway, I didn't. Anyway, it's gone up nicely. Then we're going to change the character. That change of character brought this, this massive decline in here. But not only does it change the character, we've got an engulfing to the, reversal to the south side with massive volume, the biggest volume of the whole rally. So this has to produce something. Anyway, we've got a second. So this one here is the second engulfing. Couldn't beat these highs here, and then it's come back down. And so my entry was 922.40. So I ended up getting in on this day here. And anyway, that's where we're at the moment. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens with that. So coin, NVIDIA, first solo, I was looking at first solo, didn't actually get into it, unfortunately. So we've got a resistance here, resistance again, breakthrough, found supportive action. Look at that, as soon as it sells off, buying comes in, sells off, buying comes in, same again, over and over again. And then that's just a very nice big push. Apple, I'm still in Apple. So I got in here that's engulfing. So we had an earnings, and we gapped up on the earnings, then come back down, found supportive action here. And as soon as we had that engulfing there, I ended up getting into that engulfing. I'll just get rid of that downtrend line there so you can just kind of see it a bit better, and that. So yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at this stage here. So we just have to wait and see. But this could also be looked upon as a cup with handle now. So if it breaks these highs here, you could even be looking at that as an entry. Taiwan Semiconductors. So I ended up buying here, and now we're back down to around about where I bought. So double bottom bounce. We'll just have to wait and see what happens from here. So far the SPY's looking good. The Nasdaq's looking pretty good. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens with the Taiwan Semiconductor. Microsoft, I got stopped out of Microsoft. Yeah, look at this, two big bad boys here. Increased volume. So anyway, you can see why I got stopped out of it. I ended up buying somewhere in around about here. I think it might have been this one, but anyway, got in there. And I was actually thinking, oh yeah, we might actually come back down for a bit of a retest and then take off from these highs. But it didn't happen. So even this one here, we sold off a lot and then we bought back, but we're closed below the 50. I don't like it. KKR. So I had a position. Oh, sorry, I do have a position. I've only got 1/4 position left in this one here. So anyway, it's gone up. Found supportive action on the previous resistance. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens there. I think that's about it. Yep, I think that's about it. We did have a look at the Nasdaq, I'm pretty sure. Let's have a look at the composite index for the Nasdaq. Yeah, no, we have seen this. All right, traders, I'll leave it at that. I have a good weekend. If you have any questions with your charts, yeah, look at that, that's beautiful. Let me know, and be more than happy to talk about charts all day long. All right, traders, have a good weekend. See ya.